That is 10 long years of massive long-term unemployment. That's an awful lot of manpower with nothing to do but sit there and wonder why they don't have a job. And then the unions step in to take advantage of that. Remember, the unions want the workers of the world unite. I have never in my lifetime seen anyone swoop down quite as fast to co-opt a group of people as the unions have to co-opt 99ers. These people, some of them are knowingly involved. I don't believe most are. People are good and decent, and they just want a job. But they are going to be used as political pawns by politicians, unions, and political groups. Why would you organize this group unless it helped you with power? Senator Debbie Stabenow proposed an unemployment extension for the 99ers. She announced it on TV. The reaction? That the group is for sale. Listen to this.
The rumor out there is, some people have mentioned to me, that the 99ers are going to become very politically active and tell one party or another, say, we're up for sale right now. I mean, they want someone to step up legislatively and do something for them. And I think that you've disarmed them tonight. You have proven that the Democrats are the party of the people, but also the party of jobs.
There was a protest on Wall Street, you remember it if you watched the show in August, by the Democratic Socialists of America and the AFL-CIO. The 99ers participated in this rally. Now, is that really who the unemployed in this country want to turn to? The socialists? The Democratic Socialists and the unions have the best idea to create jobs? Also, One Nation. The rally held 10-10. Instead of unions creating jobs, they have gone in and swooped down and organized the unemployed. This is extraordinarily dangerous. So now what do we do with it? Well, America, may I make a suggestion? It is our personal responsibility as citizens, faith, hope, and charity. Hope comes from the truth. We have to tell each other the truth. And charity. If you don't want the government to do it, then we must. As citizens, we must reach out and help those that are unemployed. We must look for ways to shelter and help our neighbors. We must, as individuals, if you can create one job because you have an idea, do it. Now, as a recovering alcoholic, I want to make one thing clear. There are some people that you cannot help. You cannot help someone who does not want help. Every time, what was that, Lindsay Lohan, every time she was in trouble, the press always asked me, oh, how can we help her? You can't. She wants to drink, she hasn't hit her bottom, that's it. You don't help those who don't want to help themselves. Those are the ones out organizing, the 99ers, organizing. They just want power. But the vast majority of people do want help. They want work. We must release some of the pressure. As individuals and as communities, people are out of work, and a lot of them do want help. We're going into the holiday season. On this program, I'm going to be showing you some different ideas that we can do as individuals and as citizens and people that care about the Republic and want to relieve some of the pressure. We need to reach out and help people. We can help them get their lives back. We can help them get their dignity back. If they can get their lives back on track, and we can get our lives back on track by creating jobs and starting new businesses and being entrepreneurs, we will put our country and our planet back on track. It's not going to be anybody but us that get it done. So in the next couple of months, I'm going to be showing you a sneak preview of where I'm headed next year. We're going to roll up our sleeves and get it done.
America is broke. Obama's solution, add $3 trillion to the deficit. If you spent $1 every single second of every single day, it would take you 96,000 years to spend that much money. Maybe it's time for a new solution. Glenn's got it. Next.
This country is broken, and we have to piece it back together. I showed you this just the other day. It is a map of the country, and it's kind of what we are. One of the symptoms is our broken finances. Our broken faith, our spirit, our promises, everything is broken. Any great nation throughout history has been great at making things. Well, those days are past. One of the things great about this nation is that we used to make steel. Quite honestly, I'm waiting for my son to get just maybe a couple of years older before he says, "Dad, why are the Pittsburgh Steelers named that?" I mean, people in Pittsburgh steal a lot of stuff. What is that? In his lifetime, Pittsburgh hasn't been the steel capital of the world. I don't think the United States is the steel capital of the world. I showed you this earlier. The other side of this chalkboard is where we started today. 42,400 factories have been shut down since 2001. I also showed you what Joe Biden said. Every single great idea that has marked the 21st century, the 20th century, 19th century, required government vision and government incentive. Yeah, I remember the government program that inspired Bill Gates to invent Microsoft in his garage and then tried to break the company up into little pieces to reward the effort. That's one of the most ridiculous statements I've ever heard. How much longer can we consider? How much longer can we consider ourselves to be great, especially if we let manufacturing slip away? Did you hear the news about Ford? The Ford Motor Company announced a closure of a facility in St. Paul. It produces the Ford Ranger. The company didn't say where the 750 jobs are going to be located to, but the statement might offer a hint. Quote, Ford continues to concentrate on implementing the plan we initiated 4 years ago to streamline our plant operations and better leverage our global platforms at this time. The Twin Cities assembly plant does not fit into our global manufacturing strategy. Global. Everything's about globalization. The word seems to be popping up more and more often lately. Well, if a car company has its headquarters in Detroit but manufactures cars in Canada, Mexico, and everywhere else, is it still American? Yes. At least the company is here and the money comes back here. But it's not enough. We are broke. This came out 2 days ago. I ask you, this took me over a year to write. It is probably the best book that we have written. It answers the question that everybody in this audience has asked me at one point or another. Glenn, we get the problem. How do we fix it? I'll show you a couple of the pages and some of my ideas that I've come up with next. The back of the book, broke. It says, if you pretend it ain't broke, then you don't have to fix it. And it's the quotes from all of our politicians that say, oh, what? It's not broken. You know we're in trouble. I know we're in trouble. But how much trouble? A third of this is the history and how we got here. A third of this book, it's over 400 pages. A third of the second third of this is common sense times, about 1,000. It shows you what has happened to us and how bad things really are. For instance, we don't even have a budget from Congress, and we still have a $1.31 trillion deficit. And since Obama got into office, we've borrowed $3 trillion. To give you an idea of how big $1 trillion is, 1 million seconds is 11 days. 1 billion seconds is 31 years. 1 trillion seconds is 32,000 years. And 3 trillion seconds is 96,000 years. Exactly how are we going to find that money? The last section of this book I took very seriously. It's taken me over a year to write this. It answers the question that everyone has asked me. Okay, I got the problem. What do we do? I met with some of the biggest experts in the country to answer this. I'm not a big fan of some of the things that I've said in this, but it's the truth. We need drastic fixes. We need to amend the Constitution if necessary, and I don't like that idea, but I think it's necessary. We need a balanced budget amendment, one with teeth. For instance, I recommend in the book, spending cannot be higher than the prior year's amount. At the end of the fiscal year, if the budget still isn't balanced, the difference would be cut from the budget of the next fiscal year. Federal expenses cannot be pushed onto the states. We need to make serious budget cuts. Do you know that George Washington only had 4 cabinet departments? Today we have 15. Earlier on this program, earlier this year, we worked with experts to cut the budget by 24% in a week. We did it. The Department of Education. You know that 81% of state aid, 81% of all of the budget goes to state aid? The Energy Department, 47% of all of its budget, 47, almost half, is dedicated to departmental purchases. What are you buying? There is so much more in the book. Tough solutions, things that you won't like. But this is the thing that I have put together because you asked me to do it. What is the answer, Glenn? Restore our truth, our trust, and our treasure. Broke, available everywhere. This weekend, a special Sunday election edition of the Glenn Beck program. I'm searching for candidates that might make a difference. I know you are too. Don't miss it. Sunday, a special edition at 5 p.m. Election Special from New York. Good night, America.